morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, once again to everyone in YouTube. So, as you see from the title of this video and that graphic right there, yeah, right there, I just watched the first two episodes of Cloak and Dagger, which premiered last night, and I have to say, I liked it. I really liked it. Again, I didn't know what in the world to expect from it. I guess you could put it like that. But after, seeing Runaways on Hulu, which I really liked, and I'm thinking I might have to do a re-binge of Runaways in the near future. I was wondering. I wanted to see again more. What is Marvel TV and on Freeform of all things, what it had to offer? Because similar to Runaways, I mean, Cloak and Dagger are, well, comic-wise at least, Runaways, and there's actually some interaction, which I'll get to later again. But so I was wondering how they were going to do this. Now, I will say again, I'm not as steeped in my Cloak and Dagger lore as I would be for many a main and even B-level characters. Again, I've known Cloak and Dagger. My main exposure to them, I think, first of all, was from Maximum Carnage. I know they've been Spider-Man allies and in his comics many a time. And my brother had Maximum Carnage, collected, Maximum Carnage and Cloak and Dagger, of course, were a big part of that. And, of course, seen them through the years in different things, of course, as part of the Dark X-Men and whatnot. There's a lot of story there. But I was wondering, of course, where would they take off in the TV show? And, I have to say, these first two episodes, again, they were really good as far as establishing this world a bit. Well, we haven't had a lot of world building, but I mean, it's mainly these two characters, and of course, the families that they come from. So, just going to go down a couple, as I actually have the IMDb pulled up to help me remember the actors' names, male and female. So first we have Olivia Holt, who is playing Tandy, or Dagger, and I like the way, well, for both of them, that we get a little more information about Tandy, Dagger, and Ty, Cloak, or who will be Cloak and Dagger, through flashbacks. Tandy was from a fairly well-off family. I guess her father was a representative of the Watson Corporation, and shows her as a little girl, getting into ballet and stuff like that. And Tyrell, who just a little black kid, living in the neighborhood, his older brother, getting into trouble, talking about jacking a stereo, whether to do it or not, and then because he thinks his big brother's afraid, little Ty ends up going to jack the stereo for him, and of course, there's going to be trouble ensuing from that. But to see, there's a accident that happens with Roxxon, which is a big company in proper comic wise, and in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, it's not like it hasn't been world shattering, but you see Roxxon's title, and the name has been mentioned through a few of the shows / the movies, So, found it very interesting. And again, there's the question of, is this truly part of the MCU or not? Because with Runaways, I had heard that it was part of the MCU technically, as much as, like Agents of Shield, which, yeah, again, which I love Agents of Shield, but they reference, or Agents of Shield, and kind of like the Netflix shows, they reference the movies. Agents of Shield more than anything, talk through the different movies has referenced different things, even to the last episode of Agents of Shield, where mentioned Thanos and whatnot. But the Netflix shows, which constantly referred to just the incident, which was the initial incident in New York City with the Chitauri. And then, again, through the series Peppers, they allude to, and now, like with Jessica Jones season 3, more directly reference Captain America and, referring to Thor and whatnot. So I'm hoping that, whereas they just kind of um, hinted towards, use like the flag waver or the big green guy, all this stuff, now they will name drop them more. I mean, not to just be name dropping them, but to establish a little more connectivity. I mean, even if we don't see that connectivity of characters, because again, as I use Agents of Shield as is with the first out of the gate an example, reference the movies a lot and kind of piggyback off of what's going on in there. But of course, you never hear or see about anything concerning the show in the movie universe. So, anyways, um, so whether this has even that loose association as Agents of Shield and the Marvel's Netflix does, Runaways and this, don't know. Other than, again, we see Roxanne, which has been mentioned and everything, because it is something from the comics and whatnot. And I do hope there are some connections that are shown more through time in this and in Runaways. But anyways, I digress. So, like I said, we have Tandy, played by Olivia Holt, which, from that initial accident, I guess, you see her mother, I guess, is an addict and has problems. And, she's basically a runaway. I mean, yes, she has a home she can come back to with her mother and whatnot. But for all intents and purposes, she's a runaway on the streets, getting her hustle on, you know. But of course, as we see in these first two episodes, a lot of problems assumed. Like I said, she hits up a rich mark, steals stuff from her boyfriend, love interest, whatever, and it comes back to haunt her down the line. I mean, the dude tracks her down and was about to rape her, which, even though they didn't go like deep into it, like 13 Reasons Why type stuff, but the mere fact that on Freeform, which used to be ABC Family, that they're pushing it, getting to that point, and then Tandy, as she's discovering her powers, unstable-wise, ends up stabbing a dude with a light dagger, which actually looks, really cool, the little light dagger. And the way that it looked in the trailers for it, I thought looked kind of cheesy, like it was just like a big glowing rod. But, I think that was just kind of the angle that they had at. But, I mean, Olivia Holt really gives us a feel for who Tandy is in this circumstance, and going more into her mom and her mom's boyfriend, who's, I guess, married, one of many, and money that Tandy had stole and put away that she was going to try to use after she ends up getting in trouble. Looks like her mom blows it on blow, and drugs and whatnot, and you just see that dynamic, and I mean, you truly feel for who this character is. And then, of course, we have Tyrone, who becomes Cloak. And even though it hasn't been, like, shown his powers of teleportation, which is one of Cloak's powers with the dark force, we see him, of course, fall asleep one place, wake up another place, go to bed, and then wake up in the trunk of the guy who is responsible for shooting his brother. And again, go back to those flashbacks. I just love the way it's done, where you see him as a little kid, obviously looks up to his brother, and he thinks his brother's afraid, so he's like, well, I'm going to want to help him out, want to do this. And of course, that inadvertently ends up getting him killed. And then this cop who kills his brother, something, a deal is worked or whatever, and the police deny it, and he's, I guess, pushed off to the side. But, because of his burgeoning powers, Cloak finds him. And, you can just start to see the things that are going to be in motion with that, his quest for revenge and whatnot. And I guess this is one of the things, this lifestyle and everything, that will inevitably bring Cloak and Dagger together, Ty and Tammy. But like I said, I mean, first 2 episodes, just really done. I mean, again, examples throughout these 2-hour episodes of, again, Tandy's life as a street rat, for lack of better verbiage. Like I said, getting her hustle on, and Ty, trying to live the school life. He's, a top athlete, on the team, a good athlete, doing okay in school. His mom is, I still have yet to quite identify that. I think a lawyer, business type associate. But I mean, so his whereas at the start it was Tandy's family was more well off, I guess you could say, and had the nice life, even though her mom and dad obviously, I guess, were having some problems, and her mom was sick. To Ty's, them in the ghetto, in the city, just living that type of life. And then, because of the circumstances after this accident that, killed, Tandy's father got killed, and after Ty's brother had killed, they're in the same area. The Roxxon oil rig explodes, and obviously there was something else going on there that caused them to get their powers and, be joined together, as I believe it was called in the commercials and trailers, become the divine pairing. So it's just so very, very interesting to see these characters fleshed out so much in just the first couple hours of it. And a nice little supporting cast of characters from, like I said, Tandy's boyfriend, we'll put it that way, or the guy who wants to be there for him, to the, I guess, priest in Tyrone's school, who gives him advice and tries to help him, through things and everything. This series is off to a great start. Just really, really well done, and I really hope that it continues to deliver, that it doesn't fall into the lull that many series do. Now, I'm not sure how many episodes are in this. I don't think it's like CW-wise 20-something, or the way Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had been, which is going to 13 for its next season since it has been renewed. So I'm guessing that it is going to be a shorter run like that, which would probably serve it well. And I just really look forward to seeing what else may come. And hopefully we'll get more of a visual like this. I mean, I don't know if they're going to put Olivia Holt Dagger in an outfit like that, her classic like white piece with a cross over her chest, and then Cloak is truly just a big flowing cloak and that, but still great imagery, and to see them working together. Wonder if we'll see anything like this during the series. And then ultimately, as I like this little family picture someone put together, again, in the background, you have the Runaways, which again, I have a review of the series, and I love the Runaways. And, as I said, in the comics of the Runaways, shortly into it, after they've run away from their parents and face them and all that stuff, they come in contact with Cloak and Dagger, because in the comics, Molly is a mutant, which I don't believe they've used that word yet, because again, there were the legal issues with Fox, and there's that whole hullabaloo going on yet, whether Disney will get Fox. But anyways, so as she is a mutant in the comics, Cloak and Dagger, who are kind of mutants. I mean, like I said, they've been with the X-Men many times. They're heroes in their own right, so they came, to try to help and whatnot. Well, it's because of all, them taking on villains and more than anything, because the X-Men did come for Molly later. So, anyways, sorry, I got those stories a little mixed up. But Cloak and Dagger come in. There's a misunderstanding, of course. They realize they're on the same team. The normal trope: heroes end up fighting, get together afterwards for the common enemy or whatever. But it would be really awesome just to see some interaction between them. Like I said, maybe it's perhaps after they've established who they are a little bit more, obviously. Again, we have the team of the Runaways, and then we'll have the duo of Cloak and Dagger, and it would be cool, like I said, if there is some crossover to bring more of that MCU light TV synergy together. But anyways, until that dream happens, I will just continue to watch Cloak and Dagger every Thursday, or I'll probably watch it on Fridays. Because like I said, it's just started off, and it is a series I would definitely recommend to any other superhero, or sci-fi lover. Because, it doesn't get very, very into the sci-fi powers aspect in these first couple episodes, again, because it's just really well established in the characters, but we get little glimpses, and that's what makes it really special. Anyways, thank you for listening to me ramble. That's my little review, my thoughts of the Cloak and Dagger premiere. I may do one for every episode, or I may just do it every couple episodes, instead of just waiting for the end like I did for Runaways. I'm not sure yet, or I may not. I may just wait until the end of Cloak and Dagger, because that'll be weeks and weeks away, and I can think about it more. But anyways, thanks for watching. As always, feel free to share, subscribe, hopefully like, rather than not like. And again, let me know any thoughts, suggestions you have as far as content, as far as have you watched Cloak and Dagger, and if so, let me know what you think, or any of the superhero genre TV, especially Marvel, but it can be the DC too, the CW verse or whatnot. So let me know your thoughts. Appreciate it as always.